Hey up. Right, I don't intend keeping you very long today. I'm editing this video on Tuesday and I should have done the filming on Monday, but on Monday morning I had my second dose of the Pfizer vaccine. And like the first dose, it sort of knocked me off kilter a bit. The side effect for me, it's been sort of like the early onset of flu, that sort of lightheadedness, lack of coordination, and feeling really tired. And I just didn't feel up to filming yesterday, so I've sort of left it hoping to, pull a rabbit out of a hat this morning, which hasn't happened. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't regret having the vaccines. I'm very grateful that they've been made available to me. And as they say, there is no gain without pain. Now, if these side effects work out the same way as they did last time by tomorrow, which is the day this video will actually be published, I should be back to normal. So Friday's video should go up as was originally intended, but today I thought I'd do something a little bit different and pass on a few things to you, a few things that I would like to say. First up, my accent. A lot of people ask me where I'm from, what accent is that? A lot of people think I'm from Newcastle or Scotland. I'm actually from Yorkshire. I'm a Yorkshireman and I live in East Yorkshire. The Yorkshire dialect is actually one of the oldest forms of English. It's derived from Old English and Old Norse, because much of what is now Yorkshire was part of the Danelaw back in the Middle Ages. East Yorkshire is on the east coast, which is of course where a lot of Vikings settled. And whereas English in southern England was later on sort of influenced by the French language, the Yorkshire dialect retained a lot of that Old English and Old Norse influence. Now, it's never occurred to me to explain this, but in Friday's video a lot of people ask me what A-up means. A-up and now then are Yorkshire greetings usually reserved for people that you know, sort of friends and family, people that you meet on a regular basis. It simply means hello, and the word hello, of course, is derived from some of the old German languages. Now, I might be wrong, but I'm guessing that some of the people that have asked me what A-up means are from America. And of course, the American expression hey, which is a form of greeting, is derived from A-up, or hey up, if that makes any sense. It's just that us Yorkshiremen tend to drop our H's. I think the big problem with the English language from, England or the UK is that the rest of the world has always been fed on a diet of southern accents in mainstream media. It's that great north-south divide that's always been very prominent in England. Now, I do try very hard, I'm always checking myself when I'm talking, trying to pronounce things in a way that I know most people will understand. It's difficult because if I just relaxed and spoke broad East Yorkshire, most of you wouldn't understand a word that I'm saying. So I do make concessions, but I refuse to relinquish my Yorkshire accent. It's part of my heritage and I think it's an accent and dialect that should be preserved. It is, after all, just about the oldest form of English still being spoken today. In fact, to put it into context, modern English, which is what you're all used to hearing, is a very new language. It's only been around 200, maybe 300 years, which actually means that us people in Yorkshire talk correctly, and it's actually the rest of the world that's getting it wrong. Right, next up, those halcyon mirrors on the Bullet. You can't really see them in this footage, but they are there. Obviously, these were fitted during the lockdown, so I couldn't actually ride the bike to sort of test them out, and a lot of people have been asking how I've got on with them. As anyone knows who's got a Bullet or a Classic 500 that has retained the original OEM mirrors, they are useless above, well, any speed where you're actually moving. Obviously, this is a single-cylinder bike, so there's going to be more vibration through the handlebars than with a twin or a multi-cylinder. And these halcyon mirrors are a huge, in fact monumental improvement over the OEM mirrors. There is still some vibration evident, and oddly it seems to be more prominent in the right-hand mirror than the left-hand mirror. But that vibration only occurs at higher speeds, and even then you still have a pretty clear view of what's behind you. As you'll know, if you own one of these bikes and you still have the OEM mirrors, above 30 miles an hour they are completely useless. Whereas the Halcyons, even at 70 miles an hour, still give you a pretty good image of what's going on behind you. It's not vibration free, but it's still easy to interpret the image. They are a very worthwhile upgrade. Likewise with the Interceptor, they are a huge improvement over the OEM mirrors, not just in looks but in operation as well. It's like having two circular 4K screens attached to the end of your handlebars. They are brilliant. And finally, regarding the Bullet, this has been dealt with a lot in my previous videos, but I'm still getting constant questions and comments about vibration. I'm speaking honestly here when I say I never give it a second thought these days. And what I'm noticing with the Bullet, as I've noticed all along, the more you ride it, the less obtrusive any vibration is. The bike does smooth out with time. There was a huge improvement in the first few 100 miles, and since then it's more subtle, but it is maturing and smoothing out as time goes along. Consciously, the only vibration I detect now is a very slight buzz through the foot pegs at speeds of between 60 and 70 miles an hour. It's a sort of a very gentle foot massage. Now, I think I can speak for a lot of people when I say this. The whole point of motorcycle is that it's a more primeval, visceral form of transport. That's part of the attraction. And the ability to be able to detect what the engine is doing through the chassis and the handlebars is all part of the attraction of the Bullet for me. I would take that sensation any day over a dead, sensation-free motor. You know, seriously, if your constitution is so weak that a little bit of vibration from an engine is going to break you into little pieces or whatever you imagine it's going to do to you, don't buy a motorcycle. Save up and buy an electric car. There's plenty of them on the market now. Now, what I've discussed so far sort of dominates the comments that have been thrown at me in recent weeks. On the subject of comments, I receive approximately 500 comments a day, and then on top of that I get emails and attempts to message me through Messenger on Facebook. And although I do try my best to read all of them, I'm very limited as to what I can respond to. Just taking comments on this channel into consideration, if I just answered half of them and only spent 2 minutes per comment, that would be around 4 hours a day just spent answering comments, and I don't have that time available, not if I'm going to get videos produced and get them uploaded twice a week. Now, regarding the 2 videos that I put out last week, I have to say I was really touched by all the comments just about that came through as a result of those 2 videos. First of all, your concern for my back problems. What I think it turned out to be, I'd either just pulled a muscle or trapped a nerve behind my right shoulder blade, and that has sorted itself out now, and I would like to say a big thank you for all the well wishes that I got, you know, as a result of that video. There were a lot of them and I really appreciate it. Now, the other thing is the Cafe Racer video. I mean, there was a lot more that I would have liked to have put into there, but you know, you are limited as to what content you can put into a video without it turning into a full-length feature film. But what struck me in the comment section on that video was some of the wonderful stories that I heard. You know, people's own experiences back in the Cafe Racer days, the original Cafe Racer days, not the later sort of rocker or greaser days. And the happy memories that that seemed to have brought back from people's fathers, you know, anecdotal stories of their experiences as children, sort of living in that era and witnessing this themselves. It was really touching. There were times when it almost put a lump in my throat. I think from my point of view and the way I feel about motorcycling as a whole, it was really encouraging to hear that there are people that do remember the true story, and that there are actually still people around that were involved in that scene at the time. Thank you so much for sharing those stories and experiences with me. That, for me, is what this channel is all about. It's not just about reviewing products, it's about making that connection on that level. And the comments on that video alone, for me, made this whole channel worthwhile last week. Right, I'm going to have to leave this at that. I'm really struggling with this editing platform. It's taken me a long time to make compared to a normal video. I just can't get my head around everything. Now, I hope this video has answered one or two questions. I've just sort of attempted to answer the most frequently asked questions that have been cropping up lately. And in that respect, I hope that you found this video useful and enjoyed it. Once again, thank you so much for watching this and my other videos, and in doing so helping to support this channel. I really do appreciate it. I will be back on Friday, so until then, if you're riding, please ride safely, and I'll see you soon.